Holy cow, I have some gigantic news. This is not clickbait, this is really news. Let's pretend you have worked so hard. You have spent 2 years getting your home ready for sale. You've remodeled, you've cleaned, you decluttered, everything. You hired an agent, you interviewed 5 agents. You tell your family, we're ready to go. You got your finances all together. Your agent says, we are live. And you're like, yes, I'm gonna go look online. And you type in your address and it's not there. It's not on Zillow. You call your agent, you're like, what? You said we were live, and your agent says, you are live, but we're not on Zillow. And what you find out is Zillow has blacklisted your property. For real. The reason you're given? Because your agent made a Facebook post about your property before it hit the MLS. Yes, I'm serious. If your agent markets your home before you go on the public MLS, you will be banned for the lifetime of your listing on Zillow. I'm telling you, this is like major news. This whole video, I'm going to talk a little bit about it. We're feeling our way through this, but as you know, I will always be honest with you. I'm always going to tell you the truth, and I'm always going to help you get your home ready to sell fast for more money and stress-free. So first, before we begin, let me remind you, I have my seller's playbook. You can download it at any time. It is a huge 40-page book just for you to get your home ready. But let's get into this crazy conversation. So this isn't just about one listing or one agent or one area or on one platform. There is something going on in the real estate industry that is just as disruptive as the complete NAR commission settlement last year. And we're not quite sure where this is going, but I can tell you this is going to change the way you sell your home. The reality is that if you are pre-marketing your home before it goes into the MLS, you will be banned from Zillow. Yep, it's true. Let me explain what's going on. So this might get a little bit confusing, maybe a little bit in the weeds. I'm going to try and keep it where I think you can understand it a little bit. Now in 2020, National Association of Realtors put out something called Clear Cooperation.
If you look back to the early 2000s and the rise of the internet, brokers really embracing that opportunity to share listings on their own websites, it became so important in local markets to have that virtual reach. But what became anti-competitive out of this was brokers excluding others in the MLS from sharing listings. As a result, the Department of Justice came forward and sued the National Association of Realtors. Ultimately, they came to an agreement in 2008 and allowed for equal access to MLS data for all brokers. Now, going forward, we had a lot of calls from brokers and agents across the country really seeking to have more access, and that provided for the Clear Cooperation policy that was launched in 2020.
And Clear Cooperation meant that if you took a listing and you marketed to the public, like let's say me as an agent, I put it on Facebook, I put it on Instagram, maybe I sent out some emails and I said, hey, I've got a listing coming live. And if it wasn't in the MLS within 24 hours, I would get in trouble. That's because NAR wanted to make sure that all properties were able to be marketed to the consumer. They wanted to put all these properties out to the public, which is a great idea, right? Clear Cooperation is something that I have believed has helped the industry because buyers can see the listings, sellers have the most promotion for their home. So this really meant that the MLS was for every seller and every buyer. Let's enter a brokerage that has decided to sort of stir up everything in the industry and do something totally different. So Compass, and I will say Compass, but I will say there are other brokerages that will be doing this as well, has decided to do something what they call their office exclusives. Now, office exclusives, the way that they've marketed this is that it is a way for the seller to get their home pre-marketed to Compass agents. So this is only open for Compass agents, their exclusive listings.
With Compass Private Exclusives, your agent privately markets your home to the largest network of top agents in the country without the risk of public price drops or accumulating days on market, both which are viewed as the killers of homeowner value. This phase allows us to test price, gain critical pricing insights, and generate early demand. The pre-market exclusivity creates urgency among some serious buyers, all while keeping us in full control to adjust the strategy as needed.
I mean, that's fine. I don't really necessarily have a problem with that, but they are trying to sell it to their buyers' agents. So they're trying to get the buy and the sell. And what they're saying to these sellers is that if you list with us as a private Compass exclusive, you are going to have more promotion because we're just simply rolling it out. It's going to be a soft rollout. We're going to test the market. We're not going to put days on market out there, and it's a way of getting it out there where it's not going to hurt the listing. So when they take this, it's not on the MLS and it's not in Zillow. It's nowhere other than Compass. The only way you have access to this listing is if you are working with a Compass agent. As a business practice, I'm kind of okay with that. Like, they can do whatever they want, but they made it sound like this is a benefit for the sellers. It might be a benefit for some sellers who do not want their home listed publicly. Like, if you don't want your home listed publicly and you only want a few people to know about your house, then this might be the way to go. But to put this out there and to say that this is a benefit to the sellers, I think is disingenuous.
eXp has office exclusive technology in a separate system, but it is not a business model. In my 15 years of selling real estate, I can count on one hand the amount of sellers who required this level of privacy. But in my 15 years of doing it, never did we suggest it as a business model. By putting a sign in the ground that says only on our website, you're actually purely doing that to generate leads and double in both sides. The countless amount of agents who've called me and said, I prepared for a listing appointment. I showed up to the appointment. I have all my cops. And literally the house across the street has a sign in the ground that says only on our website. The seller and I have no idea. Is it for sale? Is it under contract? Has it closed? Where is that comp?
NAR has been trying to come up with what their ideas would be about this. Is this following clear cooperation, which they put in 2020? Because they had to come up with a policy on how they felt about what Compass was going to do. So here's the issue, and this is what NAR really did say, is that by not putting homes out to all of the marketplace in the MLS, it does give less competition, and less competition means fewer offers.
In the last 12 months, there have been a lot of critics of this policy, particularly, as Leo said, self-serving of their own interests. As a result, the National Association of Realtors created a new status that would allow for delayed marketing in hopes of appeasing these critics.
Now, specifically right now in the Chicagoland area, the inventory is non-existent in my North Shore of Chicago location. Like, we're talking multiple offers, hundreds of thousands of dollars over the list price. Now, you can't do that. Let's say that listing was a Compass listing. They said, you know what? We're going to privately market this just to our Compass agents. We're going to put it in there and we're going to see what comes out. Well, you're not putting it out to everybody. You're not putting it out to all the agents. You're not putting it out to all the consumers, which means you might not get as high. And this is really a for sale by owner issue as well. It's kind of like a for sale by owner. It's not being marketed to everybody that really could see it. More people who see it, it's going to drive up the price. It's going to increase the competition. So while sellers think they're kind of getting strategic marketing, they're really not. They're getting kind of restricted access to these.
It's so important when we look across the board, and these are monthly unique visitors to the largest real estate websites across North America. By educating our sellers as to what their access looks like in promoting their listing, they do get a choice. It's really important that we are not building market tactics that steer a seller in a certain direction because it benefits us personally. We want to make sure they have all the education and information up front to best determine what's best for their family.
Now, again, I don't have a problem with Compass doing this. Like, if they want to do that, I think it's totally fine. I think where the issue comes in, and this is really why I do this channel, why I give all of you this information, is because there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes that consumers, that specifically sellers, don't know. And what I'm talking to you about right now, a lot of agents don't really know what's going on either. So if the agents don't know what's going on, how are you supposed to know? So that's why I want you to be here to understand the market, understand the little tiny intricacies as I get them, as I understand them. So here's kind of like my whole thing is for you as sellers, what I want you to know. Compass is saying that they have this exclusive inventory, but they're trying to position it like it's a benefit to you. It may be a benefit to you. I don't know your specific situation, but it is not a benefit if you are not putting it out to the whole market. Now, here is the issue. If we go back to what NAR was saying, clear cooperation, you need to put that into the MLS in 24 hours after you publicly put it out there. Well, what Compass is saying is that they're not publicly putting it out there. They are putting it into their own portal. So that is how they sort of get around the clear cooperation issue. So now NAR had to weigh in on this, and they had to come up with a statement. And we all know NAR is really having a tough go of it right now with the lawsuits. And even as real estate agents in our own industry, there's a lot of pushback with NAR. So they are really trying to kind of walk this fine line, because let's say they say to Compass, you are not allowed to do that. That is in violation of clear cooperation. Compass could say, you know what, we're going to go start our own MLS, and they're out. There's a lot of politics at play here. So NAR is trying to kind of I don't know, go on both sides. They're trying to appease Compass by saying, you know what, Compass, okay, as long as you're only talking to your agents in this private marketplace and you're not putting out there publicly, then it's okay. And they also have to protect the consumers as well, which is what got them into trouble in the first place with this whole lawsuit. So now where did they finally land on this clear cooperation and Compass? And they did say sellers can list privately. I mean, they can't tell you that you can't list privately, right? That you can't list with Compass. They can't say that. Right? So they said, yes, you can. However, the MLS offers you the best opportunities. So they put this out on their FAQ page. It's kind of interesting. There's a lot of information in there. If you want, I'll put the link down below. And they're saying and agreeing that homes in the MLS do receive the largest exposure out there. But NAR, like I said, has to walk this tightrope, and they have to make sure they are also supporting the big brokerages. So now that is what my video was going to be about last week. But now something huge has happened. And this is where the industry is sort of all up in arms and not quite sure where it's going to land. So Zillow came out, and as we know, Zillow is where everybody goes to look for homes. I mean, it has an amazing platform for viewing homes. There are things I don't like about Zillow. They, of course, are business, and they're trying to get business. So some of the things that they do, like, for example, when you click on a Zillow listing, you think you're talking to the agent who has that listing, but you're actually talking to an agent who is paid to be in that position. And they don't make that super clear. I mean, there have been some things that they've done that have been a little bit better. But bottom line, Zillow is trying to build their business, right? So what they said is they saw that Compass was a hindrance to them. That could hurt their whole model, because if Compass holds out their listings from Zillow, it never goes on the public market, Zillow is going to lose their hold on the consumer looking at these listings. So what did Zillow do? They came out and they just said that any home that is pre-marketed in any way whatsoever will be permanently banned from Zillow for the life of the listing. Yes, you heard it. So I don't know how this is going to affect things right now, but let's say you have an agent who markets it privately. Like I've done that as well. I'll post it privately and then it goes into the MLS. But now what could happen is if Zillow finds out that I posted something maybe on my Facebook page, then my seller will not get their listing on Zillow. I mean, this is huge. This is huge news. So this truly sent shockwaves through our industry. But wait, it gets even better. So what Zillow is saying is this is all about transparency. They want to make sure that all the homes are marketed to the consumers. Okay, yeah, well, I agree with that, right? But it's truly more than that. Zillow really depends upon these listings being on Zillow. So if they don't have listings on Zillow, who's going to come to Zillow? So now Homes.com came out and said, oh, we are never going to ban your listing from Homes.com. It's another portal where you can go and have your home online. So now what they're saying is Compass agents, go ahead, market it anywhere. Katie, go market your listings anywhere you want privately, and it will always be on Homes.com. So now Zillow has taken this stance and Homes.com has taken this stance. What are you to do? I mean, again, the consumer is in the middle of this. Does this sound anti-consumer? I don't know. I mean, it's hard to say. We're right in the beginning of it. So I'm not real sure. I kind of blame anybody for where they were going. Like I said, Compass, they're allowed to do with whatever they want. But in exchange, Zillow has really come in. Now Homes.com has come in, and now even Redfin has come in. Like Redfin has said the same thing. They are following Zillow's lead. So starting in May, they will block any home that has been privately marketed to the public in any way whatsoever. You will never be on Redfin as well. Now, Redfin is its own brokerage, so it's a little bit different, but many consumers look on Redfin and they look on Zillow. Those are the main two portals that I believe people are looking on. So if your agent is privately marketing these homes, they're not going to be on either of those platforms. Okay, so now, I mean, it gets even crazier, and I'm sure my next video will be even more. But now what has happened is Leo Perea from EXP, the CEO of EXP, and I think Leo is fantastic, and I love EXP. I'm an agent with EXP, and I think that they're always leading the charge, protecting consumers. So kind of the direction, whatever EXP leadership is saying that they want to do to protect the consumers, I'm really pretty much there behind them. I believe that in me putting out these videos to you and giving all this information to sellers to help them understand the industry, I do believe that that does follow EXP's culture. So I'm not surprised that Leo came out with this statement.
We made a unilateral decision as a company. We would no longer do broker to broker to remove confusion to the consumers. We truly believe if a seller requires privacy, which we strongly believe in seller choice, coupled with seller truth and education. If a seller really needs that, we're absolutely going to support that. But once that property is inputted into the listing service to be shared with other brokers, our position as a company is we're going to share it with everyone.
To avoid this whole situation, all you need to do is list with an EXP agent. Now, I know not everybody has EXP agents in your area. However, that's what I'm saying. More brokerages are going to do the same thing. We're going to kind of see how this plays out. But the point is right now, you have to really understand, and you have to really grill your agent and say, do you understand what's going on with the private listings? And agents are scared. I mean, this isn't something that we're behind going, yay, this is awesome. We're in turmoil right now. Like, this is all over the place. We just don't know what direction this is going to go in, because we want our listings out there to the public, but we also want to sell our listings in the best way possible. The best for our consumers is to do the best thing possible to get as much advertising, as much marketing, as much eyes on it as possible. And that's putting it out to the public. So now, as all of this plays out, the Consumer Policy Center has come up with a statement that really is suggesting that the Department of Justice look into this whole thing and understand how private networks are working. Are they limiting what the consumer is able to see? They say it restricts access and misleads sellers, which it can, depending on who is saying it. I mean, I can have a conversation with somebody and explain why they should stay in the private network to their benefit. And I do have clients that do want to do that. But I would also say to them, listen, this is where it could possibly hurt you. That's why you need a great agent who you can talk to and understand and believe in them. So as you guys know, I'm always talking, you've got to go with an experienced agent. You just have to. A part-time agent will have no idea that this policy even exists. They're working their other job. They are maybe out of the industry. You have to be going with an experienced agent. You guys know if you need one, you can reach out to me right here. So now we're back to Compass, and what are they doing? Well, they're sticking firm with this, and that's okay. I mean, like, I think this could play out in a very, very interesting way. And like I said, if that's how they want to run their business, that's great. But I can tell you the agents are nervous. So this isn't about who's right. This is about a new dynamic in the real estate industry. This is about control. It's about power. It's about money. And what I want you guys to always, always know is I am here to put you as the consumer first. You know, you can always count on me to tell you the truth. That's why I want to make sure you subscribe to the channel. I have so much information about the truth, about being honest with you, about telling you where things are. To that end, join my Facebook group. Come on in there. Let's have a discussion. Reach out to me. I'm always available for any of you guys to talk to. So I want to know, what do you guys think? Put them in the comments. Let me know. Is this something you're in favor of, against? Are you an agent? How do you feel if you're an agent? This discussion is just starting, but I can tell you this is going to be huge.